how the select query is operating. That too, when we are having primary key column point of view, we discussed. Let me open the examples once. Okay, so we created a new entity class yesterday by using new table. And then what we did, we just taken a couple of examples how to insert multiple records at a time by using JPA save all method. And after that, we just take an example about the delete all. And we understood find ID, find by ID. So what is the meaning of find by ID here? That is also we understood. And we taken one more example about the find all method where you want to load data based on, the entire records from the table. After that, I just given you a just overview, like what is the difference between JPA repository versus CORD repository. So which is having more features here? JPA repository is having, because JPA is a child for CORD repository. So JPA is having what kind of features? Especially sorting and as well as pagination, even some other improvements also. But when comparing with CORD repository, the main differences of sorting and pagination. So we will see what is the meaning of sorting and pagination. Okay. So before that, I'll try to cover some few other scenarios. Okay. So let's do one thing. For example, yesterday, why we used this find by ID method? To get the data from the table by using which ID? So it's nothing but a primary key column, right? So ID is always nothing but a primary key column, or even you are giving as a @ID on any column, it is always working as a primary key column. It's working as a primary key column. So in such case, you are getting data. What is the input value you are passing to this method always? What is the method argument value we are giving always? The primary key column value we are passing here. Now, for example, if I have a requirement with non-primary key column. So here, when you given 200, you got based on the 200, the user details, whose ID is 200. But I want to get data based on the non-primary key column. So that means, for example, I want to get data based on the city. So generally, if it is a SQL query, what is the query we can write down? Select a star from users where city equal to so and so city name, so that we will get all the users from that respective city, right? So now if I want to achieve same kind of functionality here also, okay, so that means here city is a primary key column or non-primary key column? Non-primary key column. So can I use find by ID method in such case? No, find by ID is always representing a identifier column or nothing but primary key column. So then, do we have any predefined method or not? We need to understand now. First point, check, do we have any predefined functionalities to utilize to achieve any requirement? So now my requirement is get user details based on city name. So simply the requirement is non-primary key column. So if you want to get data based on the non-primary key column or columns, okay, so then how we are going to get in JPA framework? Let's see here. Okay, so let me write down first a simple Java method, public void get users by city name, something like that. String city name. Okay, fine. So now, first, do we need to take help of repository always or not? To execute any database operation in JPA framework, 100% we require repository help. So let's take repository. from which table we are picking the data. So user details. So that's a user details repository. Dot and observe any predefined methods available to get data from the non-primary key column. It might be city, it might be age, it might be the name, it might be email, whatever it is. Okay. So let's understand first of all any predefined method. Find all representing all the records. All representing all the records. Find all by ID. So this is all ID representing always a primary key column. So here not that case. Find by something is there, find by ID is there, and find one something is there, right? So but we don't have anything similar to find by ID. We don't have anything related to find by city name or find by age, something like that, right? So but in this case, what JPA framework is implemented, they implemented a concept called as custom query methods. What is this? Custom query methods or custom find by methods also people will call it as. We cannot call it as find by because the same thing will apply for, but anyway, inside this we will have a couple of sections like find by, delete by, like that. We will come back one by one. Okay, so for overall concept, what it is? Custom query methods. What is the meaning of custom here again? What is the general meaning of custom? Customization point of view, right? Based on our requirement, we will frame some customized things and we will complete our work. That is what all about customization, right? So now similarly, these guys are given some custom query methods. By using this concept, we can define some three. Okay, we have to define user defined, user in the sense developer here. User defined query methods inside repository. So as of now, the methods, whatever we use to find by ID, save all, delete by ID, all these methods are, coming from which interface or entity class? Those are all coming from the interface, nothing but repository, right? So which repository? Those are all coming from our user defined repository or predefined repository. Yes, from the predefined repository, whatever the methods we have, so those things we are using till now. But when it comes to the non-primary key columns point of view, especially, so what you have to do? As a developer, we have to define query methods by following some concept of query methods, custom query methods concept and all. So where we will define methods now? Inside the repository. So that means how to define methods inside the repository, we will try to understand. So first thing, the requirement is what? Data based on city name, right? The data based on the city name. In case if you executed select query, select to start from users, where city equal to so and so name you will give, right? So this is how we will write down the actual SQL query. But are we going to write down SQL queries in JPA? As much as possible, we should not, right? So JPA given as concept. Now here, as per custom query methods, we have a concept, especially when we are dealing with these are all operations. Can I call it as a select operations? So these where conditions, all these things, it comes under the select query, right? So that means, can we say like finding operation? Right? That's what in previous example, find by ID, find all in the sense finding data. Nothing but select queries, right? So here also, JPA provided a concept like custom find by methods. Now, in this case, we have a concept of custom find by methods. Custom find by methods. So what, based on this custom by find by methods, what we can do? Let's understand. Okay. So by using JPA custom find by methods, we can define our own find by methods based on columns of a table. So that means by using JPA custom find by methods, we can define our own find by methods. Our own in the sense developer own. So our in the sense developer point of view. So user defined point of view. Our own find by methods based on the columns of a table. So now in this case, how do I write down to achieve this requirement is, first thing is the syntax comes like this. You have to use always a word called as find by. So after this, what you have to write down? So you have to write down. So I will write down syntax like this. Find by property name of entity which is representing table column. So what you have to do here? Find by, after that what you have to give? Property name of entity. Property name or column name you have to give here. Property name we have to define here. So that means in this case, property name and that too which is representing table column. So based on this requirement, what is my column name generally? City. And if you go to the entity class of user details, city, yeah. So city representing same column name or not. So for example, tomorrow, if I want to get data, your user ID is in a primary key value. For example, I'm just giving, assume I have a column like contact number in some other case. Our property name is contact. Column name is contact number. Now, which one we have to give in the find by? Only contact we have to give. So that means that's what in JPA logic, whenever we are writing anything, most of the times, are we writing entity details or table details? Everywhere, mostly entity details, we, as much as possible, we will try to define always entity class details, right? So now in this case, I'm just writing, okay, fine. And after that, generally, do we need to pass a input value or not? For example, in the where condition, when you are passing city, you need to pass a user defined value or not, a real value or not. So similarly, what you have to do is, you have to make sure data type of property and respective param name. Okay, method parameter name. So how many method parameters you have to take here? So in this specific scenario, one. Yes, good. So to achieve this requirement, how many input values we need to pass? Only one value, right? Only based on the city, only one value. Now tell me, what is our custom find by method here? Find by city, yes. Here, note, I will add one more note. Okay, so this is actual syntax. What is the note here? It is, we have to make sure property name, first character should be capital letter. So what is the meaning of it is? We have to make sure property name, first character should be capital letter. So that means if I go to my entity class, this is my property name, right? Okay, so this is what my property name from the entity class. So what I have to make change in this property? C should be capital. Okay, so that means now, is it okay? Or is this fine? No, right? So now understood why they given this, why they given this small kind of instruction, why they given. So now guess. Yes, simple. So which is giving a best way of guidelines is first one or second one? Second one is achieving the Java naming conventions, Java naming guidelines. So that's the purpose. We know that whenever we define any variables, for example, tomorrow you define variable like this, first name. Generally, variable name always starts with the capital letter, I mean small letters, first word, everything in this small letters, right? So, but when it comes to the find by, generally method names and all, second word onwards, generally will maintain capital letter of first word, first character, right? So similarly, method names also, we will follow same rules or not. So if you are following this approach, is it achieving naming convention? No. So this approach. Okay. So this is achieving naming convention. When you are copy pasting as it is after find by, is it achieving naming convention? No, right? So that's the purpose JPA making us, please make sure the property name is always, the first character is always capital letter or capital case. Okay. Now is it looks like good or not? Right? So that is what. That's why I'm telling you day one onwards, please practice whenever you are practicing anything by following naming conventions. So see, based on naming conventions also, JPA framework automated couple of things are not. So if you don't know the naming conventions, you forgot the naming conventions, then you cannot understand these kind of subjects. Yeah, so good. So it's all naming conventions point of view. You have to define like this. You got the point, right? So you have to copy paste as it is property name, but you have to make sure first letter should be capital letter. And you cannot say like, sir, I already defined capital letter here. Okay, so then I don't have any answer. Then you're actually not doing good programming. That's all. You cannot say, you cannot ask that question to me. I know there are crazy people will be there. Okay, so, okay, let's define here. Okay, find by city. Finally, this is invalid and this is all about valid one, below one. Okay, fine. Okay, so finally I created, and definitely we need to pass a input value or not. For the city, we need to pass a real value or not. So whenever we want to get data based on the city, in the sense you are going to give city name. So that means a input value. In Java, how can you pass input values to another methods? Just like method arguments or method parameters concept, right? So now how to define data type of this method parameter? First of all, how many method parameters you have to define in this case? How many method params? How many? Only one or two? Only one, because how many values? Find by city, only one column wise you are getting the data. So that means how many values? Only one value. That's fine. And what about the data type? Can I give anything, whatever I want? Okay, so data type, for example, I'm giving double or something like that. No, right? Why? City representing string. For example, tomorrow I have a column called as year. Integer like this, I have a column. And when I return find by year, can I define something like short year? No, right? So that means why? So we have a rule. Please make sure data type of property from where you are choosing the data type of property, from entity class. Simple. The property you are picking from the entity class. Similarly, data type also. Just make sure copy paste from the entity class. Go to entity class. What is the data type here? String data type. Tomorrow, in case if it is contact, if I given requirement, they get data based on the contact number, then find by contact, and inside that, what is the method parameter? Long is the data type. Long is the data type. Okay, so good. Okay, so I'll improve here. So what is the data type now? String. So you can give any method parameter name here. There is no rule, something you have to match with something else. You can give ABC, XYZ, whatever you want. That's fine. Variable name wise, method parameter name wise, you can give any name. Okay, but generally you can give a meaningful variable names to understand the programming. Okay, so this is how you are going to define what methods. So is it a user defined find by method or predefined find by method? Yes, 100% user defined find by method. This method is not available from the JPA repository or code repository. So this is what defined by the user. And where you have to define this method first. So I already given you where you have to define this method. Inside a repository. Inside a repository. Fine. So that's why, okay, we will define this in the repository level. Go to the repository. So in which repository we have to define? Is it like, can I define into product details repository or order details? No. Wherever you are dealing with the user details table, wherever you are dealing with that city point of view, go to that repository, and what you have to do here? You have to define your custom find by method inside this repository. So what is the problem here? It is, what is the return type? Return type is mandatory, right? So now guess what is the return type for this column with your sense. What is the return type of this? Only one object or more than one object? More than one object. So more than one object is, in what way we are going to get always data? List of objects. That's all. So list of which objects again? Entity type objects. Entity type objects. So in our case, what is entity class? User details. So this is what our class. Entity details. So this is how you are going to define a custom find by method. So let me write down list of okay. Okay. So now is it clear? So how we define this method? You got the idea now? Okay, fine. So now what you have to do? Now you have a find by method inside your repository or not? Right? So can we call this method from the our operations class? So now what I'm doing here, find by city. So is it showing find by city or not? Yes, as a abstract method. So there also what method we provided? Abstract method only. But we will understand how abstract methods are executing and everything. I'll give you after these examples. Okay. So what is the return type of this? List of user details. Users by city something variable name. Okay. So anything else? Okay. So let's see here. Can we execute this method now? So go to the object wherever you have for this current class. So here you have an object. So I'm just calling. Okay. Before that, let's observe how many records we have in the database. Select a star from disconnection, disconnected. Why? Okay. So total how many records I have? 3 records I have. What we can do is let's insert couple of records also. I need to use the data. So I'm inserting few other, a few more records. So what I will do 101, 102, 103. Here also what data we have? 103, right? So let's make it as 104. 4. It's already completed, Balakrishna. I given already details. Okay, male something. I'll keep 4. Hyderabad. I'll keep female 5. 105. Okay, I'm just adding 3 other records. Three records are inserted now. Refresh it. Total how many records I have now? 6 records I have. Okay. So now, in case if I given city equal to Hyderabad, how many records will be loaded now? Total 3 records will be loaded, right? Hyderabad. So one that is 104, 105, and 101. 3 records will be loaded based on the city Hyderabad. So let's see. Okay. So user db operations dot. What is the method we written? Something like city get users by city name. So what is the city name we have to pass? Hyderabad here. Okay, anyway, we written everything logic here itself. So then city name Hyderabad, Hyderabad name where Hyderabad we are passing to the find by city method, and internally how JPA is making the things and all, let's try to understand. So I'm executing now this method. Okay, so see here how many records we got, and guess what is the query is formed by the JPA internally. Select a star from user details. That's all. They converted, they are treating find by as a what? Where class. By they are I mean the by word they are considering as where condition. So that's what find all. Do you have any where condition in the find all? That's why you got all the records. There is no where condition. When you return find by ID, by is where condition, ID is primary key column. So that's why how the query is created. Select a star from user details where primary key column name user when you return find by ID. So primary key column name is user ID. Today we return find by city. So that way select star from user details by representing as where condition and city is representing city column. So that's all internally it is doing. So what is this? So the query which is executed by the JPA framework internally. So this query is forming with where condition and city equal to positional parameter. The value is passed here. So you got the three records or not? 104, 105, 101. Expected result we got or not? Right? For example, if you give an invalid ID, what is going to happen? In general, DB point of view, if you give an invalid value in the sense, city is not existed kind of thing. Okay, so if you given, can I use this query? Do you think any grammar mistakes, SQL mistakes available in this query? No, right? It's not created by us, it's created by Hibernate. It will be good. So now you got the three records or not? So for example, if I given a spelling mistake, maybe assume something, whatever it is not existed, something I'm giving Delhi or whatever it is. Now, do we have any records with the Delhi? So what is the records we are getting? 0 records. So now in case if I pass Hyderabad, sorry, Delhi here, what is going to happen? Are you going to get any exception or what? Guess. Exception, 0 records, empty list. Okay, let's do one thing. It's just simply gives empty list. Okay, so I'm just printing empty list. I mean size also, so that we'll come to know that what's happened. So what it is? You got any exception? No. Simply it knows that there are no records and it is saying like you got 0. I mean, with respect to the list point of view, what you got? Empty list. When there are 0 records, then you are getting empty list. So that's why you got size as 0. You are not going to get any exception. Fine. So can I pass any values here now? Similarly, like Bangalore and everything, whatever data we have in the database, can we pass? Yes. Now in this case, also to achieve this where conditions market, are we written any SQL queries? No. So this is how the JPA is expecting always. I mean, JPA is providing features with respect to object relational mapping and as well as no SQL concept. Okay, you got how many records? 106, 102, 103. These three users belongs to Bangalore people, right? So this is what about this. Now, for example, quickly, I'm giving you a requirement. Tell me what I have to do now. Requirement is please implement or get load data by gender. I want data based on the gender. So I want to see how many male persons are there. I want to see how many female persons are there. So how you are going to implement, how you are going to get load data from the database by using this requirement. So what you have to do now, tell me. We have to write down custom find by method or not. So what is that? Find by gender. So what you have to do then? Go to the entity class. Please make sure, is it column name or property name? Property name. Yes. Okay. And then gender. So G should be capital and followed by how many values you have to take as a method arguments? One value, right? Because you need to pass only gender value. That's why you have to take. So what is the data type of gender? In Java, string, entity class. So string, you can give any name here. Okay, here you don't have any naming convention problem. You can give any method argument name. So this is enough now. So what is the return type of this method? With our sense, we can guess it. We can get more than one record. So nothing but list of entity object. List of entity objects. Yeah. Is this enough now? Right. So let me write down very quickly. Or else I will do one thing. I don't want to waste your time. Get data users by gender. Okay. So where I have to create this method first. Generally, whatever method we discussed, find by method, where we have to define inside the repository. Go to the repository. So here, find by gender. So everything is good. So now you can call this method wherever you want. Find by gender. So what is the value? Gender value we have to pass. So how many size you will get? And again, same records. Users by gender. Okay, anything else? Anything else we have pending? No, right? So good. So see how simply the JPA, I mean, how it is simplified the framework, how it is making developers productivity is more and more when comparing with our regular coding or not. Simply, you are not at all worrying about the syntaxes and everything. Okay, so let's call this method again. User, see, why I am commenting all these things is, it's not like if I am enabling everything, you are going to get some problems and all. The reason is, for example, if I enable here, it will add 3 records again. But here, you will get a confusion, whether it is loading 3 records or 6 records. Well, because by the time it's already added 3 more records like that. So that's why just making output is very clear with respect to current discussion. That's why otherwise you can enable all these things. Don't feel like you are also comment whenever you are executing the new functionality. Users by gender. So if I given female priority, okay. So how many users are there? Gender female 1, 2, 3. Right? So total 3 records, 103, 102, and 105. So let's see here. Yeah, save all, run as Java application. So how many records? 3 records are not. So 105, 102, 103. These 3 people are female people are not. So where it is gender, female, right? So this is how we are going to write down the things. Now, for example, if I given a requirement with respect to based on the contact number, so step number 1, what you have to do in this overall concept, add custom find by inside repository. And then you can use that method wherever you want. So in this case, if I given long contact point of view, how you are going to write down inside the repository, I am writing this time directly. So what is the method? Find by contact number. So go to the contact number. Okay, contact. What is the data type? Long here. So you just try this. I'm not trying. Only data type is changing, but I will define here. So contact C should be capital and followed by what is the data type? Long data type. Yes. So you can give any variable name here. There is no problem. So in this case also, how many records you may get? List of or only one? Somehow it might be one or maybe more than one also sometimes, right? For example, if two people are entered, we are not made contact as a primary key or unique column point of view. Maybe assume two users are given same contact number. Is it possible? Right? Definitely. When you are filling any application forms on behalf of our parents also, we will give our number only, right? So that's kind of example. So assume it's all more than one. List of user details object. That's all. Similarly, can you take examples for the order details also? Yes, you just try. For example, tomorrow if you want to write down based on the number of items from the order table, what is the method you will write down? Find by number of items you will copy paste and n should be capital letter. So then data type is method arguments how many? One. So that is how you can define the custom find by methods. So that is fine. Now for example, now my one more requirement is get data based on city and gender. So that means my requirement is I would like to see how many female persons available in Hyderabad city. From our database, I would like to verify how many female people are available inside the Hyderabad city. From the Hyderabad city, how many female persons are there? This is what I have to do. So what is the query you will write down generally? Under condition or under or and, right? So that's all based on the requirement. So generally where city and gender. So simply equal to your query is good or not. So that means what you are expecting this time, how many values you are passing to the query level? If it is SQL, two values. One is city value, one is gender value. Now guess how you are going to write down the find by method with your custom, with your just sense. Just think it, no problem. Even though it is wrong, no problem. Find by, okay, first of all, find by is a common. Okay, by is representing where class. And so generally what we did in earlier cases, city only one column, gender only one column, contact number something like only one column. But this time, two columns. So that means after find by, how many things will come? Two properties. And this time the requirement is based on and operator. So now simply city, yes, and A, again A have to use capital. So and followed by what is? Gender. Good. That's all. Now how many input values you have to pass? Two input values. That means two method parameters we can define here. So first one, city is representing what data type? String data type. Yes. Gender. Yeah, good. That's what I want. So if I given gender, if I given variable names wise, we can give anything, but anyway, good. For example, in this case, what is going to happen? Let's do one thing. I'll give you a small explanation. Okay, so here, what is going to happen? For example, the gender value, first method parameter 1 is representing after find by, this is what it is going to represent. And second parameter is going to represent, this is what. You got the point now? So that means, in simple, I'll write down like this, ABC, XYZ. Data types wise, okay, but variable names. Now tell me ABC value is going to the which column, XYZ is going to the which column? ABC value represents city. XYZ column, XYZ our parameter represents gender column. So why? So the way you return the order after find by, the same order, you have to define method arguments also. It's not like you can define your own order. No, what JPF framework will do? Okay, let's take first value. Pass it in the city place. Let's take in the second value. Pass it in the gender place. Like that, it is going to place first argument value into in the first column, second argument value into second column. Like that, it is going to pass values from left to right point of view. So you got the point here now. So what is the small thing you have to take care here? The order of method parameters based on the find by. After whatever the column names you written, the same order you have to follow inside the method arguments. So now let's write down this requirement also here. So this is what you have to do. I'm not done. So what it is, find by city. So it's better to always verify from the here. Okay, you know that now, city and gender. Okay, so C should be, yeah, C should be capital, and is a word. This is all given again by the JPA framework. A is capital here, and followed by the next gender. So what is the order you have to follow now? So city is representing which data type? String data type. Second one also representing string data type. Okay, so here you can give maybe meaningful wise, you the city you can give and gender you can give. So tell me, what is the return type for this method? List of objects. We know that we may get always more than one record. So that means list of objects, maybe 0 or more than 0. So such case I can take data type as list. Okay, so let's call this method now from our operations class. So is it interesting or not, JPA framework? So yes, because it's making our life is very easy to write in real time project. That's what I'm telling you. Once you are good with the core knowledge of any programming language and you are learning the frameworks and you are getting the job, I know sometimes I'll feel like working is very easy than comparing with attending the training. So the reason is you will find out lot of solutions from the Google and they are making so many things as a fill in the blanks. Framework is nothing but what? Is it like I will always feel most of the times fill in the blanks. You are filling the blanks or what? You are doing anything else. Just fill in the blanks only, right? In city place you are giving city, gender place you are giving the gender. That's all. So so can I write down one more class? Is it possible to write down one more opera component class and I can use repository there also? Yes, it's up to our choice. Okay, let's do one thing. I will write down one more class. User data service class. What is this? It is also a component class. And do we need what repository here? At the rate auto void of user details repository because we want to perform operations there. Okay, so can I auto void here order details repository? Any problem? No problem. Yes. So that means either you can perform operations on the user table as well as order table also in the same class. It's up to your choice. Okay, so let's take a requirement now. This is what the requirement. I'm writing a method quickly. Public void load data by city and gender. It's very simple only. So which repository we want this time? User details repository. Dot. What is the method we return? Find by city and gender. So what is the first value? It should be city. Second value is gender value. So what is the return type? List of entity objects. Okay. So do I need to call this method now? So what I have to do now here? Guys, I know you understood very well. Don't discuss here. You can discuss out of the class. I know you understood JPA very easy. Okay. So please just at least concentrate here sometime. So what I have to do now? We need to get the bean object or not? Yes, that's what first thing we have to do. So how to get bean object? For example, can I get this bean object into this class? Can I get user data service object into user data operations? Yes, both are component classes. Simply what you have to do. At the rate auto void and then user data service. Right? So now see here what I will do. Getting data from DB by city and gender. Now tell me in this case, do I need to write down one more time find way method, one more time logic and all? What? We already have a method inside this class or not? Yes, what I can do now, simply call this method from here. So that means public, here also you will write down one more method like public void get data by gender and city. Dot, what is that method? Okay, load, I written load. So now, so that means one component object is injected inside the another object. So it's all we are already done. Employee address, like that we taken, right? So now which method I can call this method? Yes. So now do I need another object now? No, same operations we are talking. Dot. Yeah, this one only. Okay, so what will happen now from the user database operations? The logic, the execution comes here, and from here it is going to the which class? User data service. It is going to the another class. Okay, so it is coming to the user data service. Who is passing this object, user data service object to the user data operations level? Who is passing? The object, the dependency, Spring container. Generally, otherwise, what we will do? We will create our own object here, right? User data service equal to new user data service, something like that. We will create object always, right? And then we will use the method. But in this case, is it required? Container is taking care of the dependency injection. So this is how we are going to get the actual benefits of the dependency injection. It's not like what we discussed in the core module, employee, set ID, okay, XML of employee 1, 2, 3. No, this is what the actual. So you guys understood, you asked me earlier, sir, why we are keep on creating objects, employee 2 times, 3 times in the Beans XML. Are we creating any employees from the Beans XML? No, right? So that means we are going to create objects for these kind of big classes, repositories. As a dependency injection point of view, we are going to create these kind of lengthy classes and everything. It's not like employee objects, okay, address objects, no. So now in future, for example, once you are learning the web module, this data comes from where? From the front end. So generally, once you are moving to the next step, the data comes from here. So front end point of view, user will give his first name, his last name, his gender, his city, his contact, and everything he will give, and he will click on the submit button. So once user clicking on the submit button, the request comes to the our Java backend application, nothing but our Spring web application. So now the entire data coming to the here, and you are passing this data to the JPA module. From web module to JPA module. So then this data, you are going to hard code like this? No, right? So whatever the data you are getting from the front end, you are taking as an entity object, you are sending to the database. So finally, that is how you are going to get the data from the front end to back end. It's not like in the source code, we are going to write down always, or in XML files, employee ID 1, employee name, delete, something like that. No. So when just we are in the initial stage, as a learning time, we just created examples like employee object, address object in the core module, but it's not reality. This is what the reality. So this is how you are going to do the actual dependency injection. So please practice all these scenarios. It's very important. See, whenever I'm introducing a point here in the sense, that means definitely there is a point which is going to help you in the upcoming concepts level. So, for example, today what I did, I taken one more class and I auto went into the another class. So, and that's what I did. Same thing will come in the MVC module now. So that's why please practice these scenarios. Okay, now finally I'm calling this method. Okay, so let's send execute it. So what happened? How many records you got finally? Only one. So how the query is formed? City and the Hyderabad. So similarly, oh, what's happening? Yeah, thanks guys. Keeping your effort on the online also. Yeah, method name I know wrong, but it's not matter, Sujit. Okay, so syntax wise, if it is good, okay, one or two spelling mistakes, not a problem. Yeah, I'll upload this project. Yesterday also I uploaded this project, Saroj. Okay, so I'll upload. Maybe it will take some couple of hours late, but I will upload once I'm reaching the home and everything. Who is this person? How to get particular column using find way method? That is what I'm discussing from last 1 hour. Amar, where are you? How to? Yeah, I will share Google Drive link in the last, Deepak. Just wait. Before leaving the class, I will share it. Okay. So you guys are clear now with custom find by method, how it is happening? Okay. So I will give you what I will do. I will not take more examples here. I will take one more example. Okay. So and then I will give you a list and you just practice based on the list. Okay. Similarly, by using custom find by methods, you can define order by classes, group by classes also by using custom find by methods. Find by city, okay, order by ascending order. Find by city, order by descending order. Something like that. So you just need to add now in the end, order by ascending, something like that. So then what it will do? Internally, JPA framework will create a query, select a star from users, where city equal to so and so city and order by ascending order. Like that, a query will be created. So I have okay, I just created some list of method names. Only thing is you just need to keep those method names. You have to define your method argument values. Then those things will be converted as respective SQL queries and you are going to get orders. I mean details in the ascending order and descending order as well as group by columns, group by things and all. I will give you overview. You just practice all those examples. Yeah, I will give. That's what I'm telling you, Narsimha. Even greater than, less than, these things also you have in custom find way methods. I have some couple of lists in the material. I will show you. Just practice it. It's not that much easy. I mean, it's not that much difficult. It's very easy. So what I will do here in this case is I will take one more small example. So for example, my requirement now it is okay. I will take new thing here only. Delete data by age. Delete data by age. So can I use delete by ID method in this case? So delete by ID representing which column in this case? Only user ID column. ID is nothing sense. Only user ID values you can pass. Primary key value you can pass. But can you pass as age value as part of the, I mean, find by method, delete by ID method, sorry. From the delete by ID method, can we pass age? No, right? So that means what you have to do? You have to define a query or maybe you have to, if JPA framework is provided any predefined or custom, which method this time? Delete by methods. Similarly, find by, delete by, that's all. Your example is done. Now guess what is the method? Delete by age. So that's all. So only thing is what you have to take care. Here the property name. Okay. So yes, age. And what is the data type? Integer. Go to service class. Okay. Sorry. Repository. First define method inside here. So you are good with the age. Yes, we can make capital A or not. Yes. And similarly, integer age. Okay. So generally, what is the output you can expect from this? Int value, right? In general, if you observe JDBC, how many records are deleted, you will get integer value, right? So even you can expect that one also here, or void, whatever it is, based on that, it will take care. How many records are deleted based on this? So, okay. So let's see here now, public void delete by age. Okay. So integer age. User details repository dot delete by age. So what is the age I can give? For example, 21 I will give. Otherwise, we will verify. Yeah, 21 I have. How many records? 2 records I have. So total 2 records has to be deleted now. If you want to delete only based on the primary key column, do you need to define custom delete by method? You already have delete by ID method given by the JPA. For only primary key columns, you are having predefined methods from the predefined repositories like delete by ID, find by ID. But if it is non-primary key columns, then what is the concept? Custom query methods, nothing but custom find by method, custom delete by methods. Think, do we have any custom update methods, custom insert methods? Is it possible? Update is what? Something you are making changes. Insert is something you are making changes. So there is no possibility with update and insert operations. Only delete and find things. Okay, so yeah. I need to call this method. So can I call this method delete by age? So from the Spring Boot application, can I call directly? Yes. What you have to do this time? Get the bean object. In earlier case, operations via service. Main method, operations, service. This time main method to service. You can play whatever way you want. But please make all these complex scenarios. Practice. And I don't think I'm making you confused by taking a little bit longer. This kind of 2-3 classes are chaining with these 2-3 classes. Am I making you confused? Instead of taking one class directly and executing? No problem. You just try. It's a good thing. Okay, what is the class? New class we written? User data service. So if you are feeling difficult with 1 or 2 classes, then in real-time projects, it might be flow is going to happen from in between 6 to 7 classes. The initiation happens at class number 1. Finally, it is going to reach to the class number 7. The execution goes from 1 to 7 classes. Then how can you manage? That's why please practice today itself. At least win 1, 2, 3 classes. And that to everything auto wiring point of view. Okay, so dot class user service dot delete by age. So I will give age as 21. So delete by age 21, 21 coming here. Okay, let me pass age here also. Okay, so finally delete by age 21. So the value coming to here, and finally JPA is going to write down a query called as delete from users where age equal to so and so value. So that is what our expectation, right? So let's see everything is good or not. Okay. No entity manager with actual transaction. Give me a second. Okay, this is the different story. I'll explain tomorrow what I will do. I will explain this tomorrow. Generally, I would like to explain all this. what is transactional modifying and all, we have some concepts. Okay, so now what happened? Is it deleted or not? So leave sometime about the delete, or you can try with what is the small change I did here? I added at the transactional on top of, yes, repository level. So what is this transactional and all? I will explain. There is a concept definitely. So we will understand very clearly what is the meaning of transactional and all. It will take one class. Okay. Who is this Amar? Don't ask questions. Okay. I clearly explained from last 1.5 hour, 4 to 5 examples, and you are asking the same question. You guys don't attend the classes if you are not able to join properly and if you are not able to concentrate on the classes. I don't have any problem. So the question here it is, guys, you can tell me where is find by method defined in the interface? What is this in front of your eyes? Who is this person, Amar? This is interface and this is what? Find by methods. What is the question you are asking in front of your eyes? Answer is there. And where you are listening from last 1 hour. I'll get angry like anything. Okay, so that's what I'm telling you. Just leave it about the transactional, apply transactional and just continue the practice. Don't think too much about the transactional. I will explain very clearly. Or you can define transactional at method level also. Those are and all I will discuss later. But only thing is you can perform delete also. It comes under some transaction management concept. I'll come back that default transaction management and everything. So in case of delete, even you can use a word called as remove also. Okay, in place of delete, JPA is saying like you can use a keyword called as remove by age, remove by city. Like that we can use that one also. Okay, so what I will do before leaving the class, let me open our material. Yeah, this is what the concept. So here, see here, find by name, get, even you can use a word called as get also. So that's what I given you a couple of things. In place of find, in case if you want, you can use get word also. So query also you can use. So this is what count in the sense, based on the name, how many, for example, how I want to get a count, how many persons available in Hyderabad city whose age is 21, or I want to get a count from the Hyderabad city. So generally you will write down, select count star from where? Hyderabad city equal to Hyderabad, then what you will get? Count of the people belongs to Hyderabad city, right? So that kind of thing. Count by age, count by city, or count by age and city, count by city and gender. So something like that you can use count also. Read is nothing but again find operation. Okay, so I just given what to follow small things. Okay, so this is all about AND operator, all these things. Okay, so see here, first 3 columns, first 3 data you want to get, first 3 people names you want to get in a table. So you can write down first 3. So that means JPA given lot of customized keywords here to achieve almost every basic SQL operation, right? In a SQL operation, I can say simply as part of your SQL training, whatever the training you learn with respect to order classes, group by classes, counts, as well as maximum value, minimum value, first 3 records, last 3 records, kind of operations, whatever we did, basic SQL operations, everything is almost covered by the JPA custom methods query. So what is the point of here? It is find first 3 in the sense. What is the find first 3 by name? So that means belongs to name. I want to get first 3 records. Assume 10 people are there with same name, but I want first 3 records. I want to see age based on the age, first 3 people, first 10 people, first 1 person. Only 1 record I want to get, first person from the table, like that. Find the top 3. So based on the age, if you are applying any top constraint also, top age you will get something like that. So here you have list of couple of things here. You just try all these things. Find by name, like operator, contains. Okay, contains. You will write down like operators, all these things, right? So people are asking something like equals find by name is equal to or universe. I mean, I just given, okay, some couple of things greater than not in. You will write down not in operator. People I want to get from those should not be belongs to Chennai and Bangalore. And remaining all city people I want to get. Then what you will write generally? Not in Chennai, comma, Bangalore. Then you will get all other city people are not. In simple SQL language format. Right? You guys are understanding, you know SQL first of all. So that is what is. If you are having SQL knowledge, this is very simple. Okay. Find between. What is the between? Range you will give, right? So on so range I want select query level, you will write down the between. So same thing here also they define. Find by not operator. So what is the meaning of not? For example, I want to get all the users from all cities except Hyderabad. Then not Hyderabad, right? So that is what. See, name in the sense I take a name here. You can take any column name, age, city, whatever it is. Just basic examples I have created. So based on this, you just try see here list of keywords used. I given so many things here. What and all JPA is provided. Okay. If you can find out couple of examples from the internet also. It's time waste process to discuss every small example between, find by, greater than. After discussing couple of 7 to 8 examples, again discussing find by, delete by, or greater than, between, all these things, a useless time waste process in training point of view. You just try, but you practice with all these scenarios. Sir, where is find by? Okay, sir, how can we container created an object in interface repository without creating implementation? Yes, so that's what Addanki Sai Pawan. I will explain that why I am taking the more examples without explaining how things are happening with interface itself. For example, today you understood how we written custom find by methods. Tomorrow I will explain how a repository or how a interface is acting as an object. Right? We are writing all custom abstract methods. Are we writing any implementation methods? No, we are writing abstract methods. Then how abstract methods are executing by the JVM? Generally it is not possible, right? But still, I will explain after taking a couple of examples. Tomorrow I will explain how your custom abstract methods or your interface is acting as an object internally by the Spring JPA framework point of view and all. I will explain. So meanwhile, you just focus on these examples, then you can easily understand. Yeah, I will come back to the update query also, Alpesh. Okay, so I will come back. There is a separate scenario for update query. So many things are there in JPA to discuss. We will come back how to update the operations, but we don't have any straightforward method for the update operation. The reason is I will come back. Something like even I have to discuss writing entity classes in different way. Also, I have to discuss creating tables. As of now, what we did, tables created and then we written entity classes. There is one more option also. JPA is provided. You can define entity class first. From the entity classes, you can define database tables also. So you will define only entity class. From the entity class, we can generate tables also. That means you don't need to write down create a table, table name and all. If whatever the entity class you written, like @ table name, @ column name and all, based on that, JPA will create a table. So that is also I will explain slowly, one by one we will come back. Okay, so please practice all these things. We will connect on tomorrow. Yeah, relationships also I will take. One to one, one to many I will take, Sujit. Okay, Google Drive link I will give it to you.